Welcome everyone to a live stream. It's another wonderful Monday morning and the light of sun in the house. So let me know if the sunlight blinds the camera here. Right now we're flying under the radar, just barely. I haven't had this problem all winter. The angle of the sun has been such that during my streams it wasn't high enough to cut into the webcam, but it looks like we're right on the monitor now, so let me know. Sadistically crushing noobs, what's up? Damn, it didn't change my stream title? Are you serious? I must have, like, what happened? It, like, didn't change my stream title. Are you serious? Remorsefully. Fanta commercial. Dude, why did they change my stream title? That's not gonna fly because I said sadistically crushing noobs. Are you serious? They're gonna censor me? Just a coincidence, right? They're not censoring stream titles, are they? Don't have 4-letter words? That'd be bad. Anyway, the stream title was supposed to be Sadistically Crushing Noobs, smiley face. And then it just, like, disappeared. Where did it go? Where did it go? I was tired of the boring stream titles. So please, bear with me. You can't have any fun, man. There's no fun allowed. Is it gonna let me, you know, have my stream title or not? It just reverts back. I don't know why it does that. Better not. I don't think it's to do with Lichess. I think it's just something weird, like a bug. I changed the title at the last minute. Yeah, maybe it's noobs. Aw, he said boobs. Alright, Astrobate. Let me know when the Beavis and Butthead marathon starts. Ripun Bansal 9D. Ripunj. And Troll in a Roll. Yeah, I'm angry after my horrible simul result. I want to take out my frustrations sarcastically. How about sarcastically crushing boobs? They're not going to let that fly. But that would be more... that would make more sense to me. Ripun... But actually, you know, boobs is an old... it's an old school word for sort of idiots, by the way. And if you look it up in Webster's, boobs isn't technically a bad word. Sardinically. Let's go, Repunge. I just don't do well with the NJ pronunciation. It's like New Jersey. Putting N's and J's next to each other, that just doesn't really work. From the languages, in the languages that I normally run with. It's hard to say that. Punjab. Okay. Let's go. We're sarcastically crushing boobs. That's like nugu. Win, right? How do you pronounce NG? I'm almost ready to go. I'm just kind of preparing my mind mentally to crush some noobs. I lost my killer instinct somewhere. Have you seen it? Has anyone seen my killer instinct? He better be around here somewhere. By the way, if you want to successfully and mercilessly crush noobs, you have to have a killer instinct, and it helps to have, like, you don't want to have too much serotonin in the system, I think. Gotta cut down on the serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Because if you have too much serotonin, you're like, oh, la la la, everything's fine. I don't want to crush these noobs. We'll just let it be, you know. Don't take too much antidepressants if you want to be like a killer chess player. I've been too friendly lately, you know? Like yesterday, I'm just like, haha, let's talk about the war. Meanwhile, I'm like losing 7 games in my stream, in my simul. I need hate and anger to fuel the results. Be like Kasparov and Bobby Fischer. Fuel yourself on hate and anger. Unless you're like a genius, like Anand, you know, and then it's like, of course, like Fischer was a genius and he was like filled with hate and anger. So that's the best combination, probably. Anand just was a genius. Kasparov also had both qualities that are essential. That's why Anand was never really dominating. You know, he kind of barely technically became world champion, but just didn't have the killer instinct, you know? This is a nice pawn sack here. This is classic. Even if he's up a pawn, it's like, whatever. Nice bishop. How's your bishop doing? Wait, he's up a pawn. He's up 2 pawns. This is like pawn number 1, pawn number 2. He's up 2 pawns. He has 2 pawns for a bishop, technically. So he's actually made a sacrifice. We should change it. Yeah, I should be sarcastically crushing noobs. Okay. That's feeling too close to mocked master, though. I'd rather be sadistic. Sadistic in a nice way. So I have a bishop and you have 2 pawns. Good luck. Even the computer's going to have a hard time making his extra pawn really relevant here. But it would probably successfully defend. Be like a sparrow, troll in a roll. Mr. Miyogi. The Mr. Miyogi of the Russian Federation. Troll is a pacifist. Maybe Castle's queenside is not that stupid. Now what do we want to do? He avoided the tactic knight takes e4. Oh no, master loses material. Do you see it? I'm winning the exchange, or more. Or what? I can win a queen for 2 pieces. No plagiarizing. Do you guys see this? I just found it. It took me like 30 seconds to find the tactic puzzle. The one drawback with Castle's queenside is that you're kind of sensitive on the dark squares. Notice the difference between the like white square bishop and the dark square bishop? You guys see that? Oof. Now we have to be careful because he has, you know, 2 pieces for the queen. 2 pieces and a... Well, he has 2 pawns and a knight for a queen. 2 pawns and a knight for a queen. This pawn, and this knight for the queen. Do we give him another pawn? This is kind of... White has some strange compensation. Yeah, it's like -4. He's only -4. He definitely has compensation for the queen. And many a grandmaster has lost from -4. That's true, Arsenal. In fact, on most Monday mornings, when I wasn't terribly angry about losing on time in 7 games yesterday, I would probably sleepwalk my way to struggling with this position. But as long as we're being kind of alert, I think the truth is that White has very little chance to survive. Very difficult. I'm sorry, man. I love to take up, or always Arsenal challenges me to argue with him. I enjoy it. I enjoy bantering and disagreeing with everything that you say. I can't help myself. No, I think if you're sleepwalking through it, a grandmaster could beat a 1500 for sure with the white pieces. But, yeah, I looked at this. It's actually my #1 candidate move. He found the best possible move in this hopeless position. Knight b5. It's not totally hopeless. You're right. You shouldn't resign. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. He's got this extra pawn on f3 that's very serious. Now, one thing we can do here, and probably should do, is give material back to break it down. Give me that! Give me your pawn, man. Your pawn's driving me crazy. Don't be afraid to sacrifice material back to break the opponent down, if necessary. And do it so the game ends more quickly, so your other subscribers has time to play. Well, Cabbage, as I said earlier, I mean, I've seen grandmasters win against really weak players. If you sleepwalk, you can lose almost any position. I mean, grandmasters beat really weak players from lost positions, so. But in general, yeah, I mean, white is lost. With an engine, I could beat an engine here, but I have to work, I'm only up a queen for rook and knight, and queen and pawn for rook and knight. I'm only up 2 points of material in this position. Now that's against the computer. I'd have to work a little. I would take it down, but it would, it would still beat the average 1500 player somehow, or at least draw or make the game very difficult. Yeah, it's like beating Alexander Botez or something. Now he resigned. Alright. Troll on the roll. Arsenal fan and Mihir. Mihir is new here. Alright. Troll on the roll. Chess 960. If the camera's obscured by the light of God, let me know. But right now we're running in twilight. Hate. Hate the opponent. Murder. Kill. Thrive on negative energy. I'm just too nice lately. I realized I have to channel my killer instinct. Last night I was way... You can't see it? I could just... Yeah, it's dropped down. Sorry. What happened there? Why is that happening? It's weird. I don't know why my board is... Oh, I accidentally oversized my board yesterday. I picked it up. Sorry, guys. The board got resized by accident. We need to make it a little smaller. Yeah, I was playing the Simul yesterday, and mid-Simul I picked up the board because I don't have a... It's still weird. There goes a minute. The rating is the important thing. No, the rating is not the important thing, but we do want to see the whole board. Yeah, well, the worst square for everything is the corner, basically. You want to have rooks in the corner. The original chess position is not a coincidence, you know. Whoever invented chess, they knew what they were doing. I mean, putting the rooks on the corner squares is extremely logical. You don't want to have knights or queens in the corner. Cabbage noob. No, this is chess 960. That's what my rating. My rating's low. I think 2200 is decent in chess 960. I am a little underrated. I should be around 2200. I think. Or I could be anyway, easily. I've been over 22 before. I'm a little low. I'm a little down off my peak in chess 960. I see that. I see what you're doing there. That's my king. This is the worst. You don't want the knights in the corner. Oh yeah, I have a bishop. Oh yeah. Damn, dude, I'm like, that's my king on F1. Let's just create a void. I don't care, we're gonna kill him. Troll should be 2200. Not quite. He's like tactically not good, you know. He's not strong tactically at all. He's good in closed positions and he understands the principles, especially in chess 960. But he just doesn't calculate. I don't know. He just doesn't calculate and he doesn't do tactics at all. I mean, you can't be 2200 if you don't do tactics at all, Arsenal. Positionally, he's like 2200. This is not good either. Alright. I was gonna play bishop d2. He saves time by not doing tactics. He conserves time by not calculating. Actually, a lot of people seem to apply that strategy. Wow. Wow. Just coming with the central pawn push. So what if I take... Opens up... Open sesame. Yeah, the knight on c7 is pretty garbage. The d4 is gonna... He's got an advantage now. Feels like. If I let him push... I don't like this. My central pawn's getting traded off. He has good control of d4. white is slightly... I want to say white is slightly worse. He has the Marazzi, like, control the center. He always plays the opening almost perfectly in chess 960. Objectively, I don't know if he should trade queens or not there, but it probably doesn't affect the evaluation of this position that much. Maybe he's better off keeping the queens on somehow. I don't know. Oh, shouldn't have done that. You will regret that, Luke. Well, there goes castling. Now what am I? Slightly worse? Nice. Damn. I'm always slightly worse against this guy. Sometimes I think he's using an engine, and then you're like, but wait, if he's using an engine, wouldn't he actually be, like, good tactically? I guess he's not. Maybe he just wildly varies when he's paying attention and really trying or not. His coordination is excellent. Castle's queenside. That's a really aggressive move. But he's like playing no tactics again. It's 100% positional play. I don't know. Yeah, he seems ridiculously strong, and there's no way his rating can be 1499. That would make him 1699 in Blitz. He's played like a virtually perfect game. But very few or no tactics. And this is sort of tactical awareness is there. I mean, he is playing like bishop c6. I'm just too much serotonin. It's already like starting. I need to be angrier. All right. Sorry if I scared anybody there. We're just trying to get in touch with my inner self. That's like an acerbate move. What are you doing? Did you know that bishops they're kind of long range pieces? Just to let you know. That's not a knight, that's a bishop. Rook f1 was the move to play after e5. Yeah, I'm trying to get a bad endgame here by treating my good bishop for his bad bishop. Dude, he's literally played a perfect game. He trolls his ratings. 1799, 1777, 1777. You know. Well, that's cute. It's literally a perfect game by Black. Yeah, he's playing like a computer. But purely in a positional sense. For some worse here. He has a Bafinic like control of the center. Good bishop, all his pawns on the right color, control of the open file. His king's closer to the center. His pieces are more active than mine. He has like literally like 5 different advantages in this position. Only other thing, the only single advantage I have in my favor is maybe that I have the bigger pawn island. That I have 4 pawns against. Generally speaking, like the pawn island, the larger pawn island is a strategic advantage, but is such a minor factor here compared to the other things. Black has like every dynamic advantage you can have in this position. Better king, better activity, better control of the open file, centralized pieces. It's like plus 1.5 for black probably, virtually winning. To an absolute noob, this is an equal position. In reality, white is clearly worse. That's another very computer-like move. Probably what I would have played. Maybe that or rook. Yeah, that's probably best. Knight f5, bishop f3. And now I have an outside chance to draw. Yeah, his rating is a joke. I mean, he's actually better in chess 960, much, much better in chess 960 than normal chess. Wonder if I should just trade this. I think in this case, my bishop's so bad and his knight's so good that it's probably not a bad exchange for me. Minority attack? I'm still clearly worse. And I really don't want to trade both sets of rooks. Well, maybe I can draw. That's a horrible move, I would say. Giving me the open file. Now all my pawns are on the wrong color. Of course, it doesn't matter as much as if I had a bishop, but still, it's not really a good thing. He's giving away his edge. But he's making horrible positional decisions, like destroying his own pawn structure. Now we're talking about grandmaster level strategy. Putting the king on b4. You're not coming in there. Wow. Oh no. See, that's his tactical wizardry. Horrifying. Arsenal fan. Guys, you've got to challenge 5+3 casual. Channel my inner noob crushing-ness. That was not impressive. That wasn't crushing. That was like Armin 2005. Welcome. So yeah, anger, hatred. Kill. What was I gonna say about that game? Nothing to say there. Oh no. Without the conviction needed. What happens if you play c3 here? This is a mistake. Just checking. Oh, the marshal. Yeah, we're not in a mood for that today. Even though I want to like kill, murder, and sarcastically crush all my noob opponents, I am not going to let you play the marshal. Let's see. I really don't want to lose the initiative. Let's try something crazy. Can you send me an invite? Party on Saturday night? I'll have my secretary get right on it. Have your people talk to my people, and we'll get you an invite. Mihir, Lizard. We're just going to call him Lizard from now on. Because I can't pronounce one RZ, RD. There is Zerd in there. Such confidence. Wow, D6 is his answer to D4. That's unbelievable. How do you transfer from a good opening early middle game into a good game overall? What did you do that was strange? What did you do that was strange in that game? Something toward the end, there was some decision you made. Oh, well, first of all, you destroyed your pawn structure on the queen side for no reason. Like A5, and you were still okay. Yeah, I don't know. You lost the advantage there as you started to get into time pressure. Well, I mean, you play worse when you're rushed, like most people. Yeah, what is this? I mean, is a knight ever good on B6 in this type of structure? Not really. Yeah, giving up the open file. Right. Yeah, HTFP, right. Why did he give up the open file? By the way, man, Troll, like, what about the endgame? Even if you traded both rooks, with all my pawns on the wrong color and your bishop on a white square, I don't even think I can trade both rooks. I'm probably, like, losing that ending. Actually. Or I'm really close to losing if I'm not lost. You know, the rook and bishop is a better combination than the knight and bishop, and I'm actually going to have to, like, avoid trading rooks, probably. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure there. Okay, so what do I do? Like, go back to E3 or something? It's kind of weird. I wanted to keep the tension. Speaking of bad bishops. There was a straight up winning tactic. Imagine that. But you don't do tactics. So that's the problem. You're sacrificing tactics for time. I prefer, like, tactics to time. I'd rather have no time and have some tactics than have, you know, lots of time and no tactics, which is what you have. Now we have a problem. Alright. This is probably a mistake, too. Damn, what did you do that for? That's unnecessary. Wow. He's playing the Sicilian. That's miraculous. Straight up miraculous. Damn, dude. Arsenal's like a positional genius. Now what am I gonna do? Phew, this is This is disappointing. Who's the positional genius? We're both positional geniuses. God, I have to admit, like, bishop takes f3. I didn't think he had to do that, but it's still not a bad move. Arsenal's kind of the same. He can do tactics, but he usually, like, doesn't bother. He has a lot more tactics than Troll. But he usually, you know, it takes too much time to calculate, so he keeps it to a minimum. A little too much. Fight for the d5 square, Arsenal. It's lucky he doesn't have bishop g5 there. At least I could rule that out. There it is. It's almost pure positional play from Arsenal. Why don't you just play the freaking Sicilian defense, man? Why are you playing e4, e5 if you want to play the Sicilian? I screwed this up. Thou hath screwest. What's going on? Queen e3 is a brilliancy. Actually, it is. The inconveniences of actual calculation. Don't have time for that. Arsenal, you're amazing intuitively. You have to supplement your intuition with actual calculation once in a while. "21 viewers. I think because the stream is like PG-13. All of our best prime under 13 viewers are like blocked out. That and like Russian sanctions. So what's up? Yeah, this looks ugly. I was proud of that move. B4 was brilliant by me. I'm like Emery Tate. I'm getting like Emery Tate. I'm gonna like brag about how brilliant my moves are. Who brags about their own moves while they're playing? Like, seriously. That was brilliant. Triple exclaim. If you want to have a cult following, you have to like talk a lot of trash about how great your moves are while you're playing. Hey! Oh shit, look at that. Hey, other than the fact that it doesn't do anything, that's a good move. But it might do something. You triple fork? Damn, dude. That's sick. This put your king on f7. Then we have like the truest form of family fork. Like, every piece on the board is forked by the same knight move. Just play king f7. It's absolutely the most artistic way to like finish the game. Arsenal played like a genius in the late opening here. What was my favorite move? Bishop takes f3 unprovoked. But it's still a fork. Even if I don't take a pawn with it, it's still a fork. He didn't cooperate. Now I could just laze away the days here and look at that. Knight takes, rook takes g3. He's got naughty ideas. It's gonna take the wind out of his sails. Alright, look at that. Look at that! Man, I did something bad. I thought his knight on b6 was such a bad piece. This is theory. And I didn't realize your move... I mean, why are there not so many games here? 54 games. It's not a lot. Huh. Yeah, so ED4 is the main line. Knight A5 is like... It's like a side variation. Ah... So we learned something. I'm supposed to play d takes e5 here. That's the point. See, I'm thinking like this. E takes d4, c takes d4, knight a5, blah, 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 bishop c2, knight c4 here. But the point is, I didn't realize when you do that immediately, I'm not supposed to play bishop c2. I'm supposed to play d takes e5. Now you give up your bishop. Now I take. You have to take on e5. Yeah, you surprised me with this move. Bishop takes f3. So I played a novelty here, bishop e3. It was an afterthought. I didn't know what to do. Funny that no one's played it. It's not a ridiculous move. Keeps the tension. BFD. I should take on c5. Now you take anyway. And white doesn't have that big of an advantage, honestly. It's just kind of weird. Alright, anyway, I learned something from that. The Apollo Theater. Apollo has no games. Alright. Whatever. Who are Apollo's challenging the wrong time control to? Cabbage Ace. Of course you were fine. Come on, anger, hatred, let's kill. Crushing noobs. Sadistically crushing noobs. Alright. If I was really sadistic, I would start playing h5. You know I'm on tilt if I start doing that. I'm gonna be quiet. Stew in your own juices till the next time we meet. A lot of people playing this E3, B3 stuff. It's similar. It reminds me of the London system in that it's very systematic. You can play it without knowing how to play chess. You can teach it to your girlfriend in like 5 minutes. How to play chess. Play the London system. This is very popular for white though. But why? I mean, I know like the great Hikaru plays a lot of b3 or did for a while. Yeah, I guess Hikaru probably does it. Oh, okay. Now this is not so stupid. I mean, he keeps the diagonal open. So he doesn't have a bad bishop. I mean, most times people are going to take with the pawn, and that's normal. You're kind of like, you're being black. You're playing the black pieces now with the white pieces. But it's okay. It's probably like good for a draw if you play carefully. Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of like giving away any hope for an opening advantage. I mean, honestly, you don't have an advantage after e to either. So, to be honest, like bishop takes e4 is probably, it's probably not even a mistake. I mean, the structure favors black after e takes d. B-Jock, welcome. Crush, kill, murder. Now let's try something creative. We've got to try to be creative and think outside the box a little bit, you know? Do you know what I mean, man? Especially as we get older. And I mean like we as in all of us, human beings. Yesterday I was thinking about it while I played some offhand games. Strive to not be like be rote. You know, that's why I hate everyone's like, why do you hate the London system? The London system, it's not just the London system. It's a symbol of lack of creativity. The London system is a representation of turning chess into a paint by numbers sort of thing, you know? We've got, especially as we get older, we've got to strive harder and harder to be creative. Rockport is creative. The secrets to being a successful chess player: having a wealthy father or parents and being very creative. Or in Magnus Carlsen's case, not being particularly creative. I guess this is what confuses me about Carlsen. I can't quite figure out what makes him so great, you know? I really can't. I think I don't understand Carlsen, the mystique of Magnus Carlsen, to be honest. That's what bugs me about him. Wow, this is a nice move, I guess. Never play Queen A5. There are some interesting lines. Dude, there's a lot of interesting lines in any opening, to be honest. You can make any opening interesting. There are interesting... Not particularly. He play accurately for 6 hours of intense chess. He's kind of like an enhanced Kamsky. He's like the... Yeah, I mean, Gata was like that. Yeah, basically he's an improved Kamsky. Kamsky 2.0. Yeah. This is one way to look at it. I call him the greatest practical player of all time. Kamsky got close. You know, he was in the top 5 in the world. Played candidates match against Karpov. But his dad was like his dad was a blessing and a curse. At the end of the day, it like limited him. His dad drove him to be great, and it also inhibited him from being great. Interesting. But I mean, to be fair, Carlsen has good support. He has a normal family, unlike Kamsky, so imagine how far Gata could have gone if he had a different situation. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Is Kamsky more talented than Carlsen? No. Very difficult to argue something like that. Who knows? It's a different era. But I don't like, you know, like they're both kind of boring stylistically, but so am I, maybe to some people, so. I'm just a pundit. Anyway, this just started talking about the London system, right? Carlsen makes chess boring. It already has a reputation for being boring with most people. It's not fair to say that completely. There are much more boring players than him. I think compared to other world champions, if you compare Carlsen to Kasparov or Bobby Fischer, the fact of the matter is he's not as interesting a player, you know, as the more popular and spectacular world champions. The other thing about Carlsen is that he's like, he doesn't have a lot of his own ideas in the openings, but it's a different era now. You know, he just like steals other people's ideas. But I mean, I'm sure Kasparov had tons of ideas from other sources too. Fischer worked by himself. Do you think this type of boring is due to computers? I think there's definitely a correlation. But I think it also comes down to style. What I don't know enough about Carlsen, and what's interesting about Carlsen, is his influences. It'd be interesting to know how Carlsen became Carlsen. His father didn't strike me as particularly brilliant. It's not necessarily only genetic. His father is a pretty good player though. He's like around 2100. So, you know, that's interesting. But I would guess like Carlsen's early coaching might have had something to do with it. Yeah, but is chess boring because of computers? People are using the computers and influencing the way they play more. Probably it's making chess more boring. It's making it more clinical. Yeah. Yeah, probably that's right. The players like Bent Larsens aren't gonna come around anymore because they like the computer's like, nope, all your cool ideas are unsound. I mean, there are creative grandmasters who probably don't care that much about the computer, but the younger players, we're trying to play like computers. No, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, let's kill and chop up some opponents here. So Cabbage proved to be very, very solid. I don't expect to see this kind of play from an 1800, 1600 bullet player. I didn't get anything dynamic in this game. It's very disappointing. He managed to contain me with control of the center. You just don't see players this solid at this rating level very often. Of course, he hardly has any games. I just don't play players with less than 100 games. This guy is just barely qualifying. And mostly players of this number of games are not trustworthy. I like playing people with more games than 200. He's played extremely solidly. Finally a blunder. It took until move 23. We had a very little edge this whole time. But finally Now we're getting fancy. Speaking of players who don't have tactics, I forgot, like, I can play for back rank mate. I think once the game is like, once I have enough material advantages, stop thinking. Very dangerous policy, that is. I could have won a piece, of course, with queen takes e5. Here again, this is the simplest. If you could trade down, trade it down. Keep it simple, less chance of a blunder. Cabbage very solid. Sir Sumer, challenger, who's a subscriber. Is anyone else a subscriber? Sir is also a subscriber. Alright. Did you just subscribe? You already subscribed. Can I play next? I'm in a hurry. Wish you had asked me before I started the game. Friend is coming over. Alright. I'll play Sir next. Sir, please re-challenge me. Sir. Sire, please re-challenge me for the next game. I'm sorry, but Sumer has to go. We're going to make an exception. Let him play first. He's a long-time subscriber to the stream. Yes, I have a bad connection. Okay, please re-challenge. I'm sorry to interrupt the game. Sumer should have told me before. Alright, murder, murder, kill. I noticed lately that I just didn't have a killer instinct, so I'm like trying to force myself to play more creatively, more aggressively, and try to have a really stronger drive to win. I think another thing is if you play every day, you know, there's a tendency to get kind of routine. So we need to focus on our killer instinct more. Talked about this the other day. What is that? Donkey? Sir, sad. Sorry, sir. I figured if I played sharp, I would lose. Play your game. You know, I had a discussion yesterday about it with someone saying that we should avoid simplification against stronger players. So these just different ideas, sometimes they're even like conflicting about how you should play against stronger players. I guess the only thing that's for sure is that you should play what you know and the type of positions you feel comfortable in. As far as like playing more aggressively or more wild or more safe against stronger players, I don't think that's easy to say. I think it depends on the style of you and the opponent too. So takes. We have like a slight edge here. I think you played okay. Yeah, very solid. Okay, as you got in time pressure, you finally made a blunder. I miscalculated this. I was seriously going to play queen e2 and trade queens, but he can play bishop e6, and I'm not sure where that leaves us. Where does that leave us? I'll just play bishop e2. It leaves us with a micro advantage, if any. You know, maybe white doesn't have any advantage here. Maybe white is a tiny, tiny bit better, but not much for murder, murder, kill, kill. I don't think this is the kind of position where I'm going to, like, crush people. Not what we were really looking for. In that respect. This is like Karpov. The title of my stream is... What was my title again? What's my name again? Sadistically crushing noobs. This might be more like sadistically torturing noobs in endgames or something like that, if I'm lucky. Sumahair, you're another player very similar to Arsenal fan who plays almost 100% on intuition. You guys all need to calculate more. Sumahair's a little better. He does a little more calculation, but just focuses on playing fast too much. You're not as bad as some people. None of us calculate enough. You need to try to push yourself to calculate more. Just wasting time. Statistically key rushing noobs. Thanks everyone for joining us here on Monday morning. Another wonderful Monday morning of crushing noobs. Not really crushing them, like barely grinding them down. Exploiting their stupid mistakes. Feels like what I'm doing. I'm not crushing anybody. Do you play any over the board tournament? I'm playing in the Hungarian Team Championship on Sunday. Last match. Must win. Kill, kill, murder, murder. I have to play a cheater on Sunday. I'm slated to play over online cheater on Sunday. Gives me extra incentive to kill them. The guy literally cheated against me here. The guy I'm supposed to play on Sunday literally cheated against me. I have games saved in the studies where he cheated against me using an engine. I was 100% sure of it. So you got to ask yourself the question: people that cheat online, you know, would they cheat over the board? Well, of course they would if they could, but would they or could they? Luckily, it's not that easy to cheat in over-the-board chess. If you cheat against me, you're done. I never ever will shake your hand or have any respect for you. Anyone who cheats is permanently banned from my life. If you would cheat in online chess, like, you're just not a trustworthy human being. And you're not going to be redeemed or anything. Even like a 9-year-old should know that, you know. Oh, he was just 17 when he gunned them down. None of this like, oh, he's just a teenager, it's okay. Like, I knew the difference between right and wrong when I was a teenager. People like that, it's hopeless. They just weren't taught the difference between right and wrong. I want to learn chess. Can you recommend some books? I just know the basic rules. Oof. You lost all your games. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't really specialize in teaching total beginners. So I don't have a set. Although I do. You know, I teach from scratch. But as far as studying on your own, it's a good idea to get books. And, you know, I think the most commonly recommended is Jeremy Silman. No. I mean, Tartic over 500 mass games too advanced for a total beginner. I mean, you need to go with something like Silman to start with. I'm not even sure, like, Silman might be too advanced. Sumihara is equalized. He equalized, like, on move 10. What's the Silman series? Silman has a lot of books out. He's a good coach. I wouldn't go with like Pandolfini. I think Jeremy is a much better player and understands the game. Why study chess books when you can use the engine in the Opening Explorer? Just kidding. Alright, we know you're not a cheater. Although sometimes you're kind of scary. What am I doing here? Where's my advantage? Speaking of geniuses. Suspicious geniuses. Oh no, you're gonna give me that pawn? Man, I lost a couple of funny games. Not so easy. So let's see, take, check, up, takes. We have a pass pawn on the 4th. I mean, I'm better here. The thing that matters in a queen endgame is not how many pawns you have, but how far, you know, across the board, like, the last one is. I mean, the thing you gotta do is make another queen. So it's not a question of how many pawns you have, but the quality of the pawns. And I mean, this passed pawn is extremely strong. Queen b7. No, that's a draw. This is a draw. That is a draw. So I'm going to try to queen this pawn. Yeah, I know about that story. It's pretty sad. It reminds me of that commercial, like, how do you think he got so rich? Imagine if a billionaire businessman, like, cheats in online chess. What does it say about his character? Well, it's actually not very surprising. It just goes to show what he's made of. How do you think he got so rich? Cheating and stealing, right? I mean, it's gotta be. Can I improve my position here? What do you think like the center pawn loss to black is in this game? Very low. Virtually like no mistakes. I'm actually on the verge of losing here. I think I'm in trouble after king c4. I'm probably lost. That's the only winning move for black. I'm not sure. Is it winning? Maybe not. King c4, king e4, king c3, king d5. Yeah, maybe I'm not lost here. It's very, very close, though. I would say you had like a 7 center pawn loss in this game, which isn't bad for a 1900 player. I was winning. What? What? Where is the win? Oh, I had check and take the pawns with check. Damn. Never mind. That's your only blunder, though. You made like 1 inaccuracy, 1 blunder. Final position isn't losing, it's a miracle. I mean, seriously. He's got a better king, it's a miracle that I'm not lost here. The point is I can follow him around, you know, like, if he tries to play king c4, I play king e4. So like king e3, king c4, king e4, just barely drawing. Any other move would be losing. And that's extremely close. And the previous move, it looks like, you know, he's going for my pawn here and winning, but I come around the back. If he tries to go there, I'm actually better. He goes after my pawn, I go over his pawn, and he's out of position here. It's a draw. I don't understand what I did wrong in the opening. Nothing. It's just so strange. It's like no one plays this move. Nothing. Sir, thanks for coming back. Alright. Yeah, you took the life out of that game, Sumaher. You just sucked the life out of it. Normally Sumaher is kind of aggressive, but he's starting to get more solid against me. In the past, he's been overly aggressive. In fact, I lose this endgame with both colors. Maybe you figured out your own weakness, Troll. You need more endgame training. So, kill, murder, murder. The Caro-Kann is not an option, right? And we don't want to play e4, e5 either. If you want to win, you have to play the Sicilian or something a little dynamic. This is interesting. So now we play a good Sicilian. That move order for white is like technically you're supposed to play the Mora Gambit, or Smith Gambit, excuse me. I'll call it the Smith Gambit, honor of Ken Smith. The hell is Mora anyway? C takes d4. Yeah, now black's just better. Two-day-old 2700 account in Arena. Just report them. 2-day-old 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 2700 account in Ar Well, he's like 30-0. I found it amusing when I would play people who were like, wait, what's this? D4, knight D5, bishop takes F5. Yeah, Arsenal. Well, I mean, I play in the hourly arenas, and I could be 2,700, but no, it's not to say that it's unheard of that a good player would play in the hourly arena. Just that the ones that are like 30-0 are kind of sus. Right, he's just dropping a piece. Duh. Serious question. What's the highest Speedy rating someone can reach without learning any opening theory? We could get into a philosophical argument of what exactly that means, you know. Even like a park hustler who's never opened a book develops their own kind of theory, but alright. Book theory. Well, in order to get a FIDE rating, I mean, I'm not talking about Blitz, you have to play over-the-board long games. So, the park hustlers who play 2400 strength, say, wouldn't be able to really, you know, very rarely would they be able to maintain that in long time control. 2200 for sure. I'd have to go with like 2300. You know, for the most part, it'd be hard to get beyond like 23. You don't see many people. That doesn't sound very serious. Yeah, it's a semi-serious question. It's not real serious. Semi-serious. It's not a troll question, but it's really not serious. You're playing your first FIDE rated tournament in 15 days. I'm afraid this 1500s here are draws, IMs. Yeah, probably not a good idea to play your first FIDE rated tournament in India. I recommend against it. You want to try to avoid... India is not a good place to play your first tournament, let's just put it that way. Try a different country, maybe, where everyone isn't, like, automatically 500 rating points underrated. There seems to be, like, massive rating deflation in some places, and that's like the #1 suspect. Like, the Indian players are ridiculously underrated, like chronically. Except for the wealthy ones that can travel outside the country, and even they're underrated for quite a while till they catch up. You might want to send a pitch to like 538. They'll pay you like $600 an hour for weird statistical article. $600 an article for weird statistical stuff, but no, probably not. Although they do like chess stuff sometimes. Yeah, research your chess hustler rating strength. Why do you not play b5? I did play b5. Oh, I didn't play b5. Well, I'm up a piece already. You see, this is very important when you go, you know, when you get to be a strong player, you start to think really practically. You know, I don't like losing, so especially if I'm up a piece, I'm not going to be greedy. And I'll always just do the practical thing. You know, you can't take it with you, right? I could have played b5 here. Yeah, I mean, I figure there might be some bishop takes b5. He can play bishop takes b5, right? It might not work, but I'm up a piece, and why should I worry about it? So that's my advice to people. If you're an absolute beginner, you want to like win all the pieces you can, right? I mean, that's the first thing we learn. But in order to be a competent chess player, you have to reach the point where, like, you know, one piece up is enough to win the game. 99.9% of the time. So if you can reach that, you're automatically guaranteed to win. If I'm up a piece, I'm not going to take any kind of risks to win a second piece. It just doesn't make sense, you know. Should I increase my losing chances by like 5% so I can be 2 pieces up? Because 1 piece wins enough, you know, 99.9% of the time already. Yeah, I know. Oh, queen a4, yeah. Well, whatever. Queen b3, queen a4, it doesn't matter. He could sacrifice a piece on b5, probably. Here, he played queen a4. He plays bishop takes b5 check. I'm not winning anything. Bishop takes b5 check, pawn takes b5 check, queen takes b5 check, and then queen takes c5. My bishop's hanging on c5. It doesn't work. But anyway, besides the fact of that, yeah, the other point is that it doesn't work. Yeah, white is just lost. But he got caught in the trap in the opening. It's bad. It is bad. Yeah, I mean, this d4, knight f3, a6 is the best move here. Well, the only thing you can do at this point is try to transpose to the Mora, I guess. Smith and Wesson. Although technically white has better moves. Instead of knight f5, I think you're supposed to play knight f3 or knight b3, and it's like so equal to slightly better for black. He's not connected. Strange there's no immediate mate here. Feels like there should be. Delvin. Still no mate. But there will be. Queen f7. Queen f7 is the best move. Maybe rook d1? No. See, this isn't accurate because I have bishop c3 check. Queen f7 was much better. Delaying the game by 1 more move. Oh, no. Sorry. Rematch is not available. So we've got Mihir, Harshi, I'm Tired, Grishanu, and G Poots. Alright. I forgot we played before, sir. Sire. Alright, I've got to wake up. We got another hour of crushing noobs. But Monday mornings are always a little shaky. I was angry I had a bad simul result yesterday and time pressure. Is anyone else in this challenge list a subscriber to the stream? Then why not? Join, subscribe, Damn it. Help the panda, you know, get more bamboo. We have a bamboo shortage in the house. Alright, come on. No one else is answering. Killing noobs. Alright, e4. I've gotten really into playing e4 lately. I played bishop c4 last night. I never normally play the bishop's opening, but I was kind of experimenting with this. Kill noobs with... Yeah, I played f4 here last night. That's a bad move. f4 is really bad. But I don't want to play the boring Joko with d3. So that leaves us with a problem. Bishop g5 is a move, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like bishop g5 here. It doesn't leave us with a lot of options. f4 is bad. Knight c3. Yeah, what's the deal with knight c3? Probably our best shot. To transpose to a Vienna. And then, yeah. Never ever play this with white. f4 is a line now. I don't think I've ever played this line with the white pieces in my life. Surprising how fast he's reacting. A 1600 doesn't know how to play against the Vienna normally. That is very surprising. Your 5-minute requirement before chatting is over. Oh. We normally turn that off for raids and stuff. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar here. Aspirate, what am I supposed to do in this position? Am I supposed to just do h3? That doesn't seem right. I can't play the queen to f2 in this position. It's ridiculous how fast my opponent is playing. You're playing someone who's almost 1,000 higher rated, and you're playing like instantaneous moves. I don't see how that makes sense. If I sack a piece on f7, he takes. I play knight g5. He grabs a second piece. I lose a piece there. So what do I play now? Knight d5, knight d4. Wish I had a sack. I have it. No. Rook g1. What am I supposed to play? Rook g1 doesn't work. Rook h4 doesn't work. d4 doesn't work. Bishop b5. Bishop b5, does that work? Doesn't work either. It's kind of creepy. This is pretty creepy. To say the least. Is this not kind of creepy? There's serious problems. Although I have the gut instinct that there's something here for me. It's crazy. Okay, let's say I take on f7. He takes on f7, I play knight g5. He takes it, I take it. I end up with the pawn down ending there. That's disturbing, dude. He's used 18 seconds for the game. Oh my god. We gotta sack the queen now. Does this even work? No. That was a horrible blunder. That doesn't work. But my opponent is not 1600. Because I don't think taking on f7 worked. That's why. Why not? He had queen h4 check, and he just moved instantly and didn't see it. So knight takes c4 doesn't work at all. This is unbelievable. God, it's like the worst game I ever played. Dude, why are you so obsessed with moving instantaneously? You had a winning position and missed it because you moved so fast. That's crazy. You have 4 minutes to think about your lost position. Why play timed games? I don't understand. If you're not going to use your time. It's hard to believe, really. That he just had like a totally winning position. And he plays like this. So it looks like h3 is a mistake, and I'm not surprised. Mr. Kofefe, welcome. I was supposed to play queen d2. Of course I didn't like this, you know, because he messed up my pawn structure. But white's still better. I thought I had time for this, but I underestimated bishop h5. That's no problem, man. I can still play queen d2. But I tried g4 just thinking like everything's fine, black's going to play bishop g6, and he sacks on g4. So I don't see what is my resource here. I mean, I've outdeveloped him here, and I think I should be fine, but I couldn't find a move. This is desperation. Bishop takes, knight g5 check, queen takes g5, bishop takes g5, bishop takes here, like rook takes, and I'm down a pawn. That's like my worst case scenario. Good morning, sire. So what does anyone recommend here? Maybe I have something tricky, like knight g5. Rook f1 was actually top move. So my next move was just a massive blunder. It's not a blunder. Wow. I'm not lost after queen h4 check. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. Look at this position. I thought I was lost for sure. Oh my god. You're right though, I should have played bishop takes f7 check. I didn't check the engine before I made the move. I couldn't see this worked. How would I know this works? Damn, I forgot about this idea. Then knight g5 check. So this is check. And he has no time to take... I see. Yeah, I didn't have time to check with the engine before I made my move. So I played this and I thought I just have to resign after queen h4 check. But unbelievably, I'm not lost. That is insane. Look at this. I'm down a queen for 2 pieces. After bishop takes d1, knight f5, and white is much better. Well, I actually get 3 pieces for the queen. That's the point. There's no check, and I take his bishop back. So, I mean, if I realize this, I'd be like, alright, okay. I have 3 pieces for a queen. It's alright. I have 3 pieces for a queen and 2 pawns. That was lucky, you know. I thought I had just, like, blundered. Alright, Harshi. I mean, I kind of felt intuitively there was something there, but as I told everybody, it's not enough to play on intuition. It's fun, and that's what most people do, and they're lazy, and they want to play too fast, but you gotta calculate. You gotta learn to calculate and force yourself to calculate. I don't understand, I'm not gonna go into it again, but how this player is 1200. It looks like the Indian underrated players are spreading to the online world. Like even their online players are like 600 rating points underrated. It's bad enough with the FIDE ratings. He's playing like main line. I guess I should hold off on queen c7. Excel Poker, thanks for subscribing. I like Excel Poker because he's one of the few players here who actually knows how to manage his time. He's a good role model for time management. Not too many players around in my stream who actually, other than myself, have a clue how to manage their time. In increment time controls, particularly. You got to actually use your time. You know, it's like a resource. The object isn't to see how much time more than the opponent you can have at the end. The object is to play the best game you can play without losing on time, which means using as much of your time as you can without running out of time. You want to maximize the, and I think it's not a coincidence that Excel Poker plays poker, because any poker player would understand that you want to maximize, you know, the value of. When you think about poker, you're like maximizing value. So, if you have resources, you want to maximize them. You think about it in a kind of like business-like way. Time is a resource. You don't just waste it. My opponent is not 1200. I don't know what his deal is. Like, you'd have to try to be 1200 and know the main line of the Godiva variation, like 20 moves deep or something. That just doesn't fly. It's a very rare variation of the Sicilian that most people under 2200 don't know. This Queen B6, he's already on move 10 theory. Main line. Although A4 is... Okay, A4 is kind of like side variation. Most people would do without the A4. It's more common to just play, say, maybe F4 first, or... Yeah, it's maybe more common to play without A4, but it's certainly also a very... Look, King H1. Our opponent is 1200. Right. That's a standard Karpovian move. Yeah, why are you using the Opening Explorer? Seriously? No joke? Because it's not cool to do that. You're 1200 and you're playing 12 moves of theory in a rare variation of the Sicilian. I don't... It's not okay if you're using like Opening Explorer. Please don't do that against me. That's cheating, just like using a computer to play your moves. I would say most likely white is using a computer opening book or something. You can't be 1279 and know this opening. That's not okay. I'm just not going to play you. You're 1279. I don't know what your deal is, but I'm not going to play this player anymore. I will not be trolled by players who are 1279. I'm sorry. I have no interest in that. I am not going to play that player anymore. Alright. Ennis when tired. 1936, 34 games. We'll give this player a chance. If they're suspicious, I'll abort the game. I normally don't play players less than 100 games. I don't want to play against your Opening Explorer. If you're a computer, I'm just going to resign. Or if you play like a computer, I have a policy not to accept challenges from players with less than 100 games. Now, if you're 1200 and you play 12 moves of theory in a sort of like rare variation of the Sicilian, I'm going to abort the game. I don't want to hear like, oh, I studied that variation this week and stuff like that. If you did, you wouldn't be 1200. It's very simple. There's no explanation for that I would believe. Check. Another player who's very fast, but too fast. They're not even close to playing accurately. It's a waste. I mean, what do you do? Like, play bullet all day? Yeah, this is just a lost position for black. If it was an escort, he'd probably have a good gaming chair. If it was an esport... Are you talking about me? Everyone in my house has a gaming chair except for me. It's really sad. Just waiting for my kids to become streamers. Then we can rake in the big bucks. So far, they're not producing. I honestly don't think gaming chairs look that comfortable. If anything's better than the chairs I have. Ooh, it's getting hot. It's almost summer. I have a feeling it's going to go from like winter to... It's going to be one of those years where it goes from like winter to summer. Like overnight. I mean, when 1200s play King H1 on move 12 in mainline, Queen B6 Sicilians, like, dude, honestly, even the average 1900 players don't necessarily know to do that. You're done, man. I don't think he played the best moves. Like, I don't think he's cheating with an engine, but I think he's using an opening explorer or something. There's something fishy about that account. Until they come clean, I'm not going to play them anymore. This is not the first game I played with them, but I already said it like 100 times. Yeah, if you're like Karpov, it's totally like a standard move, you know. But we're not talking about like 1700 player. He's supposed to be 1200. I don't want people, you know, cheating, having their friends play on their account, their brothers, their sisters, their moms, dads, you know. I want to play the person who played those games that is rated 1200. Not someone else, not the opening book, you know. No, most of them are good players. You could easily start believing everyone's cheating. I do that all the time, but... yeah, it's not really... Right, I don't care. I'm not gonna, like, look them up. I don't care. I just won't play them anymore. I've been doing this for 6 years. I know what a 1200 plays like, for the most part. And I know when you don't play like a 1200. I'm like Santa Claus, you know? After 30 years of chess and 6 years of streaming, I know what 1200s are like. Some of them can play a good game, you know, but this guy is too automatic. He's sitting there with the opening book open, like rehearsing the moves that it recommends. Or else it's his brother who's 1900 or 2000, whatever. They have another tab open and they're like playing opening book moves to train. They're using my stream as like a training tool for their opening book practice or something. I don't have any interest in that. I don't want to play where you have like a built-in advantage with the opening book. I've even avoiding playing f4 because I didn't want to give him like the e4 square. This guy is tricky. I don't know. He's pretty good, but not great. But pretty good. Yeah, this player unfortunately doesn't have enough games. I shouldn't have accepted their challenge. I know that you're always in trouble when you're playing people with less than 100 games. I think a lot of people cheat in my simuls with Opening Explorer. Especially when they have more time, they have a much higher tendency to do it in the simuls than in blitz games. They also have more time to work it out and use the opening book. practical exchange sacrifice. Black is lost here, of course. He is a really bad bishop. In addition to being down the exchange, it's a particularly bad exchange, where his exchange is really, really inactive. Why not rook a3? I didn't think of it. I have a passed pawn. I'm just going to try to queen it. You know, most people are kind of materialistic for a reason. That's the way we first approach the game in most cases. But I'm thinking in a more schematic way. Not just like randomly going around and eating everything. But I'm trying to follow a concrete plan, which is like queening a pawn where I have a majority on the queen side. Yeah, rook a3 would have been another way to try to go around it. To approach the problem by like picking pawns off. It was perfectly fine. Sean Pinto resubscribed. After rook b8, I thought you would play bishop takes c6. Say what? Wait, what are we talking about? Lots of challenges. I have 35 minutes left. No, yeah. They like my stream title. Beat us to challenge me to rate it. Anyway, it's too late to play that many games. It's getting really hot in my office. Wow. I think today it's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This is maybe like the warmest day of the stream. Jesus. It's the warmest day of the spring. You have a theory that it's possible to prevent counterplay by taking material. Because when you capture something, that you allow the opponent to relieve themselves from defending it. I don't like thinking about the opponent relieving himself either. Alright. Trying for stalemate. No stalemates. Ma. No stalemate. Alright, he was legit. G-Poots with the supporter wings. Alright, let's go. I like your theories, Arsenal. Interesting. You always have interesting theories. I never like to let my opponent relieve themselves at the board. It's a good theory. I think it works. But you have to go sometimes when, you know, the new FIDE time controls, where there's just like no time control and just increment. You have to go, you have to go. So what happens there? I've never been in that situation yet, where I was down to my increments and I had to go to the bathroom. I'm just waiting for that. That'll be a fun experience. I guess if you go bad enough, you just resign. Sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. Can you like ask the arbiter for like a bathroom pass or something? No, bishop takes e6 doesn't work there. Not when g7 is defended. Yeah, well, some people are probably into that. Donald Trump, for example. Delver. But yeah, I wonder if that's happened. It's a serious question. Like, it's a crazy situation. Like, I don't think there's any sport where, you know, like in tennis, you have to stop the match. You take a timeout. Basically, it creates a situation where there have to be, in all honesty, joking aside, like, you have to be able to request a timeout. There has to be the possibility of a timeout at that point. And there doesn't exist anything in the rules about this. It's like inhuman. But I mean, I guess the problem has always been around. Like in the old days with analog clocks, if you're down, you're out of time. You're out of time. All right. So, yeah, what are we supposed to play here? F4. You have to sack the pawn, I guess. I'm sure that like Queen F3 is a move. Bringing back great memories of the tournament scene, man. That's like having a chess tournament at the senior retirement center or something. It's a great place. Community room at the retirement center. We all have a great future to look forward to in our old age. Yeah, Queen F3 here. The problem is we're blocking our F pawn. So I guess my move order is inaccurate. I had this game with Fedorovich once. If I had stopped to think, I probably would have played F4 first before castling. So my move order is inaccurate. Orber. Orbeez. Well, my move Orber. Interesting. But there is some compensation. There's F5. F5. E5. We gotta come up with a new name for you. Mr. Optimistic. Bipolar Richie. You're either like really depressed or you're massively over optimistic. You have like these totally polar opinions about stuff. You're like just extreme opinions. It's the best position ever, or I just want to kill myself. Why not F5? Well, I thought about it. Nah, it's a normal idea. But I wanted to develop. Now F5, E5, knight E6. You've got this, like, I hate to say the word, but Esserman, like, sacrifice. Actually, there's Queen H5 here. F5, E5, Queen H5, D5. Not sure it really flies. Flying flies. Of course, there's just like Queen F3. Queen F3 looks good. If it's Queen F3, it's for me. Just play a normal move. I don't know. Bipolar fan, Richie. He's extremely polar. The stream title, oh man, there was one player, one of our old viewers who he was extremely offended by any reference to noobs. Like, in his world, noob was like the ultimate insult. I think it's just funny. So he retreated. Well, f5, e5 again. There's always the double pawn sack. It seems a bit much. Yeah, I mean that variation is fun, but it's like going to a dark alley with nothing but a, I don't know, a flashlight that doesn't work. I don't know what we're doing there after like f5, e5, queen d5, knight takes b3, or castles. So now doesn't work. It's a classic, Sozin. Probably not enough compensation. I had the similar game against the Hungarian IM, Farkas Tibor, a couple of years ago, where I just lost. Where he just took my central pawn and I never got any compensation. I guess we just go back. It's a good thing. If he was 1200, I would be suspicious, you know? So that's the thing. He's not. He's 1900, and he plays like he's 1900. But if he was like 1200, I would resign, because I'm like, what? What is your deal? All I'm asking is that if you're 1200, you play like a 1200. I don't think that's too much to ask. Now black's in trouble. I almost took the time to play c4, which would have been a massive waste of time. We have huge pressure. I'm only here for the sadistic part. See, you gotta have funny stream titles if you want to be successful. You gotta be a little bit mentally disturbed to find that funny. Alright. We win material. I'm not sure it's a good idea, though. To be honest, this might even be a mistake. Should I play f6? No. It is interesting. I'm sort of sorry I did it this way now. It seems so greedy. Yeah, no, he has he has some pretty good defensive chances. Practically speaking, I should have found a more decisive attack. He missed bishop g4. I mean, that's so easy. After bishop g4, I'm just like lost. Platformer. It's a good pre-move if he plays king h7. I mean, man, you're winning on bishop g4. I blundered really bad there. I shouldn't have even taken the exchange. To be honest with you, I have a winning attack here, and like probably knight c7. The whole plan is a mistake. Though on the other hand, I don't know. Does anything really work? Any other moves really work? Bishop h6 doesn't work. I should just play f6. But my concern is, of course, that, you know, we'll have something like knight takes, pawn takes, queen e6, and he's going to try to trade queens. And I don't want to trade queens. You know? You know what I mean? So my opening was a mistake. I should have played bishop e3 first. I haven't had many Sozens lately. Okay, the number one move is bishop, let's see, f4 right away. That's what I mean. Yes, I'm supposed to play f4 right away. Bad move order. Sir, Excel Poker. Uh-oh. No 10-5 challenges. Thanks. Yeah, well, that's the Najdorf controlling d5. Well, the Sicilian, any Sicilian with a e5 based structure, you want to have an understanding that the d5 is the most important point on the board for that position. Yeah, this guy. Who is this guy? Ooh, it's getting hot in here. We have time for 2 last games. What do I do against knight f3? Crushing noobs. Excel Poker is insulted. Yeah, thanks for the game, Pooty Chess. 10 years ago, I was 2300 and quit chess before my rating caught up. Now I just goof off. Devery. Devery flips. King's Indian. I'm playing the King's Indian. What the I didn't mean to do that. Alright, we gotta take him out of this. King's Indian is not... I'm not gonna try to play the King's Indian. because I'm out of book. Out of book. I forget theory. Yeah, this weekend was European Poker Tour in Prague, and now all the like COVID stuff is. I didn't want to think about going to Prague because, although I like to play live poker, I was like, I don't feel like wearing a mask, and all these like COVID restrictions and stuff. But now it's over. I kind of wish. I was wondering about your name. It's from Magic the Gathering. I wish I had gone to Prague to play poker. But it's hard to take time off of work now that I'm doing chess full time. Poker is only a hobby. Everything is a hobby. Chess nerds discussing Pokemon. That's what I think about. Oh, sorry, Magic the Gathering. Now we're really back to classical stuff. I'm too old for like trading card games. Benoni alert. Yeah, baby. Like, I know the Benoni. I'm a real Benoni expert. King's Indian players like myself, original King's Indian players, we only know like specific variations of Benoni that you have to know. Of course, there are others, you know, great players like Tal and Fisher played both. I never played pure Benoni. What would Asterbait do? Keep asking myself. Askerbait. Uh-oh. I feel like I looked at this recently. Funny how you have strange memories. Like, I have a memory from like 30 plus years ago where this master from New Jersey played this position in our chess club with white. He was beating on some experts with the white pieces in this line. The 2300 player crushing 2000s. This is actually not that common. Benoni is a hard opening to master. When did you start playing Blindfolded? Not really. I played very little Blindfold. What would Askerbait do? As I said before on the stream, I've once done a blindfold match against a guy who was not blindfolded. But I have very little practice playing blindfold. It's just very labor intensive, and it just doesn't seem that like useful of it just doesn't seem that rewarding for the use. The amount of time it takes to get good at blindfold never struck me as a constructive use of time. Hey Dennis, what's up? You came because of the title, see? Everybody likes my title. Yeah, flexing. Timur Gariev became a blindfold specialist. So he's making his living by doing like blindfold simuls and stuff. It's a lot of work, man. That takes incredible energy. I'm not that into straining my brain. He let me play like c4. I mean, you gotta play knight c4 there, right? And then I play knight b6 and offer a draw, I figured. I think the engine will say, and I think I looked at this position, literally, knight c4, knight b6, knight a3. When if you're like Zlatko or Lichess, you're happy. Maybe knight c4, knight b6, knight a3, rook c8 or something? Or do I go back to d7? Now, he talks about king h1. According to Zal Poker, every 1200 knows that move. It's a standard idea. What would Asterbate do, though? I feel like I've had this position with white, probably. I have to play knight c5. What are we going to do with you, Asterbate? It's a draw? Alright. Obviously a draw. White's a little overextended. The master in question I was talking about, my friend who played this type of position, he got a sealer sweeper in. I remember it was like this devastating e5 takes f5, but he had like an optimal setup for that. It doesn't work here. Excel Poker has to be careful not to be worse because he's overextended. You were black in a similar position against me. Maybe, but I don't often play this way. I may have tried it against you. So maybe a5 is a good move. Maybe, maybe not. Cool, calm, and collected. Maybe you play more Benoni than I do. So knight d7 drops my c-pawn. What do I do? Do I ever have any kind of tactics or threats? What would Igor Kovalenko do? He would have like 4 minutes and 59 seconds now. While I was like losing on time. Knight h5. Wow. What about knight c5? Just go back. Funny, I have an opponent who lost a piece to a b4 fork on the white side of Benoni the other day. Like knight c5, rook c4, queen a5, b4 wins a piece. I won a piece exactly like that myself the other day. It's pretty funny. I have a nice bishop. Man, there was a game where Hikaru, when he won the last Grand Prix, he had this game against Aronian where he destroyed his own pawn structure, and then they drew in like 5 moves later. But I don't like this structure, man. What? Rook takes c3? Okay. We have time for one last game. Played a perfect game. Game is already analyzed. Wow, 11 CPL. Benoni Naturalist. Rook a3 is a mistake. There's only one game with knight c4, so you should do a5 right away. 12th Bela. Italy, 1996. Troll on a roll? Who is that? I never met Tot Bela. He's a Hungarian who lived like his whole life in Italy. No, but like half his life. And he came back. I think he came back. I have to go. Oh no. He's trying to play e5. Troll's a big believer in like central pawns. This isn't me. What are you doing, like a Tony Miles? I'll be there yesterday. Man, I thought that was my queen on d1. Whatever. It's playable. You know, that's my problem. Now there's rooks on h1 and a1, and I started to think I was playing normal chess again. I gotta go, kids. Sorry I can't play the next game. I'll play next time. But Troll doesn't really like open games, so this is a perfect opening to play a Grunfeld. That's got to be my new mantra when I play the Troll in Chess 960. Is that our Tuesday tournament? We got to set up the Tuesday tournament. Maybe thematic Chess 960. Does that work? Thematic Chess 960? Knight a5. Don't talk about the war. I think the war in Ukraine is criminal. Is what I think. I live in Budapest, Ukraine, so what do you think? But I tried to not talk about the war. Like faulty towers. We talked about this. We talked about this yesterday. I mean, we get that all day long anyway, so I'm trying not to turn my channel into a political channel, if possible. Troll. No, Putin must be replaced by a sane dictator. A sane dictator. Maybe we can trade Trump. What do you think? Trump needs a job anyway, and he loves Russia. Oh, this is a perfect meme. Let's trade Trump to Russia. Then everybody can be happy. They'll have a sane, like a dictator who doesn't want to destroy the entire world, at least not immediately. Trump can be happy. Guys, that's a great idea. Why don't we give Russia Trump? He needs a job anyway, and he loves Russia. And he'll do wonders for the economy. He's big on economy. This is a great meme. I'm surprised someone hasn't thought of this before. I'm sure. No. Putin would get savaged by, like, the Republican Party. He's not tough enough. He's not right-wing enough for the Republicans. I don't know, man. It's a crazy world we live in. Whatever. I'm out of here. Man, Arsenal didn't get banned for those caps. Can't believe it. You can go there? That's my queen on B1? That's good. So at least my my B2 pawn is protected. The wrong person got banned? I didn't ban, nobody got banned. But I can start banning people if you want. Just tell me who. Arsenal's looking for trouble. Just tell him who should have been banned. Man, Troll, you're playing well again. Stop that. Oh man, bishop takes f2. I'm getting myself in an awkward situation here. You're evading the ban. Contact China. If you've been banned and you want to evade the ban, you can try to contact the Chinese premier. You might have a chance to get unbanned. Or evade our sanctions. Troll is evil. This is a really bad scene for me. He's playing extremely high level positional chess. This is kind of scary, man. A little too high level positional chess. I think Troll is sus, to be honest. He really is kind of sus. He's too strong positionally. He's like a 2600 now. His positional play is a little sus. And his rating's super sus. I know that it's chess 960, but we've always thought Troll was a little sus. Also, his score against me is sus. Like, he loses on purpose or something. No one who's as good as him could possibly lose every single time. He also loses to Asterbait on a regular basis. He's like cheating, but he doesn't want to win. So he just like loses on purpose. It's bad. It's bad to, and I'm as guilty of it as everyone. This kind of making a constant comparison between positional and tactics. I gave him a lecture on this like last week. Kind of that, I guess the way to look at it is that it's not that they're like two sides to a coin. I think the positional side is just much bigger. Tactics, I think, is like 20% of the game. There's this quote, right? The 99% of chess is tactics. What bullshit is that? Like, who said that? Duh, comrade. He had e3. He had a lot of good moves. I mean, it was kind of tempting, though. You got to admit, what he did was very tempting. My pieces are very precariously placed. And he just, like, went down this natural line. But I mean, e3 would have closed the situation a little. But I agree, it's probably better than letting me get in e3. So now I have, like, a defensible position. Kind of similar to the last game against him, if you want to be honest. Right? Where I'm just, like, positionally dominated. He's, like, dominating me positionally. I mean, that's what's, like, slightly sus. He's a decent player, but should he be, like, dominating me positionally every time we play? That feels like too much to me. But Karpov is Karpov. This is Troll we're talking about. I'm not playing Karpov. But he's playing like Karpov. He's playing like an IM strategically. I have to believe that if he was that good, he would be higher than 1499. He uses the engine, but never for the tactical moves. He's just using it for the positional moves. And if there's a strong tactic, he just doesn't use it. Obviously. Yeah. Everything but positional play. Spey 3 is pretty high level, man. You gotta be like a psychic to play that move practically. You practically have to know what I'm gonna do. And that's what a lot of good players are capable of doing. Playing like virtual psychics. He has to know I was planning on playing knight b2. Now he'll just lose on time in a winning position. This is what he does every time. It's just, he's like trolling me. Oh, trolling, right. So now it's like a perfect game by black. Plus 1.5. Final position. No inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Nothing suspicious about that whatsoever. He played 2 inaccuracies. Wait, there was a blunder. He missed the tactic. So he did have a tactic. That was a winning position. There's nothing suspicious about Troll whatsoever. So where's the win? He has a win here with queen d6 instead of queen a7. One move tactic. Yep. Game over. Nice knowing you. Actually, that doesn't work. I have knight a4 there. So what's the win? Oh, takes and then queen d6, right? slight problem. He made 2 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 2 blunders. I made 3 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 2 blunders. I look like a raving idiot, you know, in this position. How did that even happen? Bishop e4 was how it happened. He always gets an advantage every single opening. Every single time. In chess 960. Alright. Gotta go. It was nice entertaining you, comrades. We'll see you later. Tomorrow night, Tuesday Rapid Tournament. We'll see you for that. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, by the way. Coffee. Thanks, Mr. Coffee.